And we are live. Welcome to Olivia's Stories, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the things we do are just because we want to feel less lonely, because of our boring marriages. I love my husband so much, but love alone is not enough to make me feel happy. I am not adjusting what I did, and I know that I had to at least release one person from the abomination, but I couldn't. My husband and I share that rare kind of love that is admired by people from the outside, while we know that we are forcing it. Men have egos and always have a reputation to be worried about, while their own wives are always cooped up in a world's kind of a marriage. I know I took a wrong turn to deal with the whole thing. I know I shouldn't have fallen in love with his friend and best man, but he was giving me what I had been not getting from my husband. The guy made me feel secure, happy, and alive, while my husband was busy with his own thing and focusing more on his career. It was supposed to be a once-off thing, but I got carried away, and now karma is dealing with me so bad. Please give me tips on how I should have dealt with this. I still love my husband, but I don't know how to get him back. What should I do? I don't really know what came over me. Lust and craving for something outside your relationship can cause a huge disaster and drift between couples. I craved for something that I was not getting in my relationship. I went outside my perfect, imperfect relationship and ruined the only good thing that I had. I regret it, and I don't know what to do to fix it. I cheated with his friend, who was also his best man, on our wedding day. Now that I got caught, I don't really know how to recover from this. Where will I go, and what would I do without my husband in my life? I know I messed up, but can't he at least give me one last chance? I won't deny that I did him wrong, and what I did is unforgivable. I acted like a loose witch who doesn't think before taking action. Please tell me what I should do or say to make my husband rethink his decision. I miss him so much. Adam, male 40, and I, female 33, met in a business event that was happening at the restaurant that I am owning years ago. Well, he was the one who was hosting a business dinner, so he came to my restaurant and booked the place for his function. Since that time, my restaurant was new in our small town in Barcelona. I was happy to get a chance to host a formal event in my restaurant, and it was going to be a very good kickstart for me and my business. So Adam had asked to speak to the owner of the restaurant, and since I was always in the restaurant, we arranged a meeting for his event. A couple of months later, he came back. I had thought he wanted to host another event, but no, the poor man was not. He actually came to ask me out, telling me that he was new in town, so he needed a friend. Well, my husband is a very blunt person, and he has that thing of saying things as they are, without sugarcoating them. I was charmed by his bluntness and honesty. He was also a very handsome and sophisticated man. So since I was in the restaurant business and he was in the real estate business, I thought, why not be friends with him? I was still trying to grow my business at that time, and I knew that he was going to help me. I know I acted like a gold digger, but I needed him and his connections. He was the man of not too many words. But what I had noticed about him was that he didn't like being taken for a ride, and he respects his business and his image. We became friends for quite a while. I was single and he was single. After some time, he told me that he needed a life partner, someone he would spend his life with because he was tired of being alone. I was really charmed, honestly, and the girl had already caught some feelings for the guy. We were spending almost all our free time together. He was a very romantic guy and knew how to use words to smoothen the lady's heart. I grew up with my grandmother, from my paternal side. My parents passed on when I was very small. After my parents passed, I was with my little brother Jordan, male, 22. That time, my brother was a few months old, and I was around 5 years old when our parents were gunned down by unknown men. I couldn't believe it, Everything happened so fast that day. One minute we were having dinner as a family. Well, my brother was sleeping in his bedroom when 4 men came in and asked for money. What I remember is when my mother told me to go to my bedroom and asked these men to not harm her children. My father tried fighting one of the men, but he got shot. Then my mother followed, and that was it. I don't remember anything more, because I woke up in a hospital with our Nana and Jaden in her hands. It was a real traumatic experience for me. Since then, I vowed to love and protect my children, if God blesses me with them in the future, from any harm. Our Nana moved in with us since then. I would never forget that woman, even in my afterlife. She taught me a lot, which included how to cook, and I fell in love with cooking, so I went to culinary school, thanks to the inheritance our parents left for us. I would forever cherish that woman in my life, no matter where I go. Anyway, when Adam was away on business trips, we used to call each other every day or every chance we got. Until one day when I called his phone and was answered by some random girl, I asked who she was, but she didn't answer me. Instead, she asked who I was and why I was calling her man. That day, my heart sank. I couldn't even concentrate properly on my business for a week, which led me to lose some profits. Mind you, that time we were not even dating yet, but I was already jealous. I started acting like a psycho girlfriend on the poor guy because of the girl that had answered his phone. Did I fall in love with Adam sooner than expected? I asked him about the girl, and he told me that she was no one. I don't know why my heart was broken because Adam and I were just friends, right? He apologized about the girl and promised to make it up to me when he gets back. So I forgave him when he did me wrong because he wasn't next to me. But when I do the same, it becomes World War II. He proposed after 6 months of dating, and that was the best thing I had ever got. Even my Nana was happy, and that was enough for my heart. It took us the whole year to think and plan what we wanted for the wedding, and when that day came, I messed it all up. All because of lust and craving for something different. So one beautiful, sunny, yet busy day, Noah, the guy I cheated with, male, 29, who was Adam's friend and I first met at my restaurant, as I was on duty to serve and cook for my customers that day since I was short on staff. He was friendly, kind, fun, and was always willing to listen to me and my problems, you know. I couldn't help but notice how attractive he was. He had a charming smile and a confident air about him that I found irresistible. Before I knew it, we were deep in conversation, and I found herself feeling drawn to him. As time went on, I found myself drawn to Noah's youthful energy and zest for life. I began to feel a connection with him that I hadn't felt in a long time. However, I knew that I was committed to Adam. Noah and I were spending more time together, exploring new ventures. It was fun. I got to be free and be me again. Yes, I needed a friend to pass time with, but I felt something for Noah. Despite my initial intentions to keep things platonic, my feelings for Noah grew stronger each day. I found myself daydreaming about him and eagerly awaiting our conversations on a social media platform called Discord, since it was where we would communicate because I didn't want my husband to find out about my newly formed friendship with Noah. One day, I couldn't resist the temptation any longer. I had to either choose to stay away from Noah and throw away how I feel, or I confess everything. So I decided to meet Noah in a restaurant kilometers away from where my house is, just to see if our connection was the way I felt or he was on his own game. So we arranged to meet at a local coffee shop, and my heart raced with excitement and guilt. So I confessed to the guy. I know it was a slutty move that I did, but I felt like confessing rather than to die with something that you had been longing to take out your chest. What surprised me was that he also felt the same way, but he wanted to keep our thing a secret because he had someone in his life. Of which I understood, because I also had Adam in my life, and if he was to find out about my abomination with his friend. But that time, I didn't know that he was Adam's friend from university, and they were also working together on some project because he had never introduced me to any of his friends up until the day he was hosting a braai at our house. Noah's energy and mine just clicked. I don't know how. But we had that kind of connection or chemistry that I also can't explain. My husband, or must I say ex-husband, was always traveling and leaving me alone in the house. So, on my day off work times, I would go and visit my Nana and stay with her. Even though our intimate moments were no longer the same, I was getting by him. The more my husband was not available, the more my feelings for Noah grew. We got so close. One day Adam was hosting a braai at our house. I was surprised to see Noah at that time. Adam introduced us. I couldn't tell him that I had already met Noah, so I pretended like it was my first time seeing him. During the braai that Adam was hosting, I was not really comfortable because I didn't know what he would say to Adam since they were drinking alcohol. My heart was not really at ease. Noah and I had already been out several times. He made me feel alive and appreciated, you know? What I did was wrong on so many levels. I should have ended the abomination whilst I had time. But guess what I did? I continued seeing him on the side. Well, I couldn't let go of him. I don't know why, but whenever I would think of cutting off our cheating because he also had a girlfriend, I would feel like I would be letting go of my happiness. After some time, I decided to be brave and end things with Noah because I loved Adam, and I believed that he was the one for me and no one else. I had always imagined myself spending my whole life and growing old with my first love. I couldn't risk Adam finding out about my abomination, as I thought that would destroy and jeopardize our relationship. Adam was the missing piece in my heart and soul, while Noah was the happiness that I had been longing for too long. The wedding day came. I was so happy to have got a chance to be getting married to my life partner. The weather was cool and relaxing, which made it much greater to get married. Noah was not happy about the way I had chosen to break things off, but I had to in order to save my relationship with Adam. Another thing, Adam made Noah his best man, and that was the greatest torture of all times, because I had broken things off with Noah because I had to choose between my heart and my happiness, and I chose my heart, which was Adam. I knew I was loved and secured by him. He loved me for me, you know? He made me show the other side of me that I had never known existed. He knew how to treat me right and make me his first. Well, when he felt like it or was not busy with work. I don't know what really came over me to mess such a good thing that was going on between Adam and I. So as I walked down the aisle, I felt confident that I was about to marry the man of my dreams. My husband-to-be, Adam, was handsome, successful, and seemed to love me unconditionally. Our wedding day was perfect, and I couldn't wait to start our lives together. But little did I know that my perfect day was about to take a turn for the worse. As the reception was winding down, I found myself alone in a quiet corner of the ballroom. I was tired and wanted nothing more than to go home and relax. But as I was about to make my exit, I saw him, Noah, Adam's best man, the man who brought me happiness, the one I had cheated with. I had asked Noah to act civil around me, and I would do the same because I didn't want people to start speculating things. Even though I was not comfortable with my decision, it had to be made, so we agreed on being civil towards each other. So when he saw me sitting alone, he came over and we started talking. It was surprising how he could pretend like everything was okay while I was shaking in my boots. I didn't want Adam to see us together. I think it was guilt eating me up, but the guy was relaxed, so I had to also pretend and relax. As the night went on, Noah and I continued to chat, and our attraction grew stronger. We danced together, shared a few drinks, and eventually found ourselves alone in a secluded part of the venue. I knew there and then that I must have fallen hard for Noah because I had missed his touch, the way he would appreciate my body and make me feel young and carefree. I know I shouldn't have done that, but I couldn't resist. He had that soft touch that would make me want to ask him not to stop what he was doing. It was like his touch and kisses were a drug. Not to mention our intimate moments, they were what I had been longing for. I had been craving for it. We were there, under the moonlight, that Noah and I kissed for the first time since we broke things off. Our kiss was passionate and intense, and we both knew that we wanted more. I know what I did was wrong and evil, but I couldn't resist. I missed him. And the way our kiss was heated, I knew that he missed me too, even though we knew that we were doing something wrong, and there were great chances to get caught. For the next few months, Noah and I continued our affair in secret. I mean, we couldn't resist each other. He was bringing me happiness that I was not getting from my husband since he was always busy. So we would meet up at hotels or secluded parks, always making sure to keep our relationship hidden from everyone else. I know what I did was sluttish and evil, but I had to at least get my happiness outside since my husband couldn't. I mean, Adam is the kind of guy that would be romantic, shower you with love and all. But when it came to affection, making a lady happy, he dismally failed, which led me to crave for something else, something that would make me happy and feel complete. I wanted to be myself. I have seen one of Adam's friends with his wife and the way the guy was treating his wife, touching his wife. I wanted that. I craved for it, and I got it from Noah, even though it was all lust and affection. There was no love. But as time went on, I began to feel guilty about my affair with Noah. I knew that I was hurting Adam, the man I had promised to love and cherish for the rest of my life. But what would I have done if he didn't care about my happiness and my desires? The only thing he would do was to shower me with gifts, romantic dinners, and love, but that was not enough for me. I didn't need any materialistic things from him. I needed his attention, affection, and happiness. Sometimes love alone is not enough, right? Weeks later, I had been living in fear and thought that my husband was seeing through me what I have been doing. I felt like the abomination that I had done was written all over me, and it didn't help with the guilt I was feeling. During those weeks, my husband suddenly decided that he was moving out of the house when I asked him why he was doing that. He told me that it was for the best, not only for him, but for myself also. I didn't understand his lame and lousy excuse, so I fought with him about moving. After the whole begging and throwing tantrums that I did think he would change his mind, the guy continued with his plans and moved out of the house. I knew there and then that my marriage was hanging on a very high and dangerous cliff. You know when you get that feeling that tells you that everything you had worked hard for was about to go south instead of north side? That was what I had felt, and I couldn't even blame anyone for it. About a week after he had moved out, a delivery guy had come to the house, stating that he had come to deliver the parcel. When I asked who had sent it, he told me what all other delivery guys usually say, "I don't know, ma'am, I am just a delivery guy." My conscience told me that maybe it was something from my business clients. Little did I know that it was actually divorce papers, and he wanted me to move out of the house. I thought I was going crazy, like my mind was about to burst like a bomb. I couldn't believe why Adam would just decide to send me such things. Why couldn't he sit down with me and talk like a married and matured couple, but he went out there and filed for a divorce plus full ownership of the house. I couldn't let him win just like that. If he wanted to go, he should have told me, but not to go to our family lawyer and file for a divorce plus full ownership of the house. I was actually given 2 weeks to vacate the house, or else legal actions would be taken against me. And I knew that even if I was to try and fight him, I wouldn't win because I was the one who went outside my marriage and committed adultery. I called our family lawyer and asked for an urgent meeting with Adam because everything was going through our lawyers. Luckily, the week didn't end, and the lawyer had confirmed that we would meet in the next couple of days. So when we got there, I asked Adam why he was divorcing me and why he wanted to take full ownership of our house. I mean, it's not like he wouldn't afford to buy another one. The answers he gave me were more than enough to make me depressed and think of the worst of myself. He showed me and our families, my Nana and his parents, a video and pictures of me and Noah in our secret locations. When I saw the first video of me and Noah getting it on, I felt so humiliated. I didn't know what to do nor say because there was no denying anything since the evidence was right in our faces. I couldn't even look at my Nana because I felt like I knew what her face looked like. She was embarrassed and felt like she was let down by me. And I did let her down and humiliated her image and my husband's in the worst way possible. I tried pleading with Adam to at least have mercy and not take my daughter away. But the guy just told us that he was done talking, and the call he would like to receive would be the call that tells him that I had signed the papers and that my 2 weeks of vacating his house was almost over. So I had to decide fast where I would go, but he wanted me out of the house. Only if I knew that my desires of exploring something else outside my relationship would get me into this mess, I wouldn't have started it. I hate myself for it because even if I wanted to fight him or plead with him, my efforts would be in vain. You know when a person says they were drowning in deep, muddy waters? I was that person. I was drowning in muddy water and I couldn't swim. That was me. I was really depressed and wished to just go far away where there were no troubles and sorrows. I couldn't eat nor do anything, the way I was so depressed. I stayed in my bedroom for the whole week, much to my Nana's annoyance and disapproval, to close myself in my room. I looked like a junkie in the street and it was all my fault. Later on, after I had done having a self-pity party, I decided to get out of my room. My Nana even called my brother to come and plead with me to come out of the room. I started attending sessions. Even now I am still attending them. I just feel like Adam and I can still make everything work, you know. I miss my husband so much, and I am in so much denial to the fact that all that we had worked hard for and had gone through would just vanish just like that. Please help me get my husband back. I know I had done him wrong, but he should allow me to fix everything. Please advise me on what I should do to get my Adam back.